actually hold on. I have to pick up my my season pass, so it's gonna pause for a little bit. I'm not gonna pause it because there's no way. I'm not gonna use my express pass. Express pass might be later if I do it for a third time. Today's amazing. There's like short wait times. There's nobody in the park. Good Sunday.
What's going on? You get there, 3 glasses, start 4 each way. You get there? Can we get 3 glasses, we'll start waving at me, start 4? Or are you just waving? I think they're going to grab 3 glasses. Once we get those, we're going to start out into the movie studio today. We're going to see some history. We're talking about some history. We're going to write some parties out there. It's going to be about a 45-minute tour, so we're going to get you off your feet for a little bit and drive around the movie studio. And that time has come. Let's take like a train, get out of here. Wait, goodbye, everyone. Bye. I miss you already. What's up, man? My name's Tim. I'll be your guide today with the stage driver. We also have a cold nose.
Unless those people will sit there.
I love good buzzword. A Coachella type vibe. St. Dennis Regional Medical.
Nobody calls this in front of me.
Regional Medical. That woman is a lot. She's just quirky. St. Dennis Regional Medical. The rhythm is gonna get you, and it got me.
St. Dennis Medical. All episodes streaming now. Watch NBC on Peacock.
Hopefully it's empty.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome aboard the Universal Studios tour. You did it. You made it. We're so excited to have you join us today.
The car's not full.
As you do, keep moving all the way down to the right-hand side of the tram, filling in all the available seats so we can fit as many guests as possible on our behind-the-scenes adventure today. And if you happen to be traveling with anyone whose feet do not touch the floor of the tram as they are seated, now would be a good time to move those friends towards the center of your row, away from the outside gates. That is just for their safety. We do get rocking and rolling here on the tour. On that note, it's a great time to secure any loose items that you may have, and to watch your arms and legs as these gates to the far left are coming down. Now, I bet you're wondering who's talking to us. They sound so knowledgeable and so gorgeous, and you are so correct. Hi, everybody. My name is Maisha, and I'm going to be your tour guide for about 1 hour today as we take you behind the scenes of the studio where they film the Emmy-nominated show Hack, starring Gene Smart. This is where Rudolph filmed filmed her television show Loot, where Reba McEntire filmed her sitcom's Happy's Place, where they filmed NBC's hit singing competition show The Voice, and a show called The Paper. Now, if you don't know what The Paper is, that's okay. It's not out yet. It's premiering on Peacock on September 4th, and it's brought to us by the folks who gave us The Office. You're going to see all that and more, but first I want to see that we all got 3D glasses before jumping on the tram. Oh, that's a sleigh. You're going to need those for King Kong 360 3D, but right now is your only chance to grab some. So if you're missing them, that's okay. Just raise your hand nice and high so I can see you and spot you. Great, I don't see any hands in the air. So I'm gonna break it down, everybody, because not only are you hanging out with me for an hour, we also have the best driver in all of Hollywood. Everyone make some noise for our driver, John! Air horn, air horn, air horn noises. He's very important to the operation, because without John, this would be it. Just sitting in a tram for about an hour, or even worse, walking our almost 400-acre studio that's mostly uphill in this weather. And I don't know about you, I'm not about that life, okay? So thank you, John, for letting us sit back and relax. So do me a favor, look to your left and give your best Hollywood wave to the theme park. Goodbye, call my agent, let's do lunch. So you got John behind the wheel, me, Maisha, your tour guide, and my very special celebrity co-host. You might recognize him as the host of The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon on NBC.
You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guy
Maisha.
and the greatest driver.
John.
Hold the
You're the
phone
best.
with my
I
right
love
hand.
it. Even though
Maisha.
owes me $5.
That was a secret.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Thank you, Jimmy. All right, everybody. First and foremost, please remain seated at all times, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle, and a tight hold while you're here on the tram. During the tour, if you experience a medical emergency, sound or video issues, or if you drop something of value off the sides of the tram, just reach up, grab that red emergency cord on the ceiling. The tram will come to a stop, and then I will come to you when it's safe for me to do so. The studio is private property, so at any point during the tour, if you drop your phone or just cannot wait to use the restroom, just reach up and pull that red cord. There is no smoking or vaping of any kind on board the vehicle, and sharp tram movements, fire effects, and lots of water effects heading your way. There's a good chance you're gonna get wet, but only here on the tram. And lastly, for the safety of you and guests around you, there's no use of selfie sticks here on the tour. But go ahead and get your cameras at the ready, because John has officially driven us into our studio that was founded by the man on your screen with the hat in the air. That's Carl Lemley, who had a dream of not just making a movie studio, but building a movie-making city. That's exactly what he did. We are, in fact, Universal Studios City, California, complete with our very own zip code. We even have our own hospital, post office, and a fire station. You can see that fire station up here, right here on the tram. The only thing we're missing in our movie city are residents. But beyond creating what he called the strangest city in the world, our founder, Carl Lemley, wanted to open up the doors of that city to all of you, the audience. And on your screens, you can see he did that back on March 15th, 1915, which makes Universal the oldest studio still open and operating here in Hollywood. You're going to see our history today, but also our future. If you look to your left, you can see some construction for our brand new roller coaster opening next year called Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. And I think if Carl Lemley would see where we are today, he would first say, what is a roller coaster? And then mention how far we come, and I have to agree. But now here's that Universal history. Off to your left is Soundstage 12, the oldest soundstage we have. And it's been home to just about everything like Frankenstein's lab and Dracula's castle. It was also Scarface's mansion, the clock tower from Back to the Future, Visitor Center from Jurassic Park, Whoville from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Coco's Retreat all utilized the soundstage there. Now you saw the interior dressed or decorated for filming. You're gonna hear me say that quite a bit on the tour. But right now on your screens is what the interior of our sound stages look like the majority of the time.
Alright guys, no gumball.
I know, it's not glamorous, the walls are blank, but those walls do help out filmmakers. If you look to your left and peek through the open doors of our sound stages, you can see the interior walls are actually padded with a material that we call InstaQuilt. And then we make the exterior of our soundstage walls 4 times thicker than the walls you all have at home. The thicker walls outside and padding inside make our buildings 98% soundproof, giving filmmakers a controlled environment to capture the actor's dialogue. It also will stop any sounds from sneaking in and ruining a take, like any sound sneaking out of the building to your right. That's because to the right is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, a theme park ride. Universal's the only place in the world with a theme park and movie studio across the street from one another. But thanks to the soundstage walls, you can defeat Bowser, while here to our left, Bel Air, the dramatic retelling of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, could utilize for filming without any interference. You can catch up with Bel Air as it streams over on Peacock, and it stars Jabari Banks and Ollie Sholaton.
Can you just grab me a water when you can? So what is you put egg on the cheese? You put cheese on the eggs? On the cheese.
That's right. Whoa, how many seats do you think are in there? I don't know, it's gotta be a lot. Man, we could probably fit the whole Bel Air cast and crew in there. No, we gotta get one of these for the mansion. For sure. You're lucky for you. The Banks family mansion lives right here on the Universal lot. Right. Some of Bel Air's most pivotal scenes have been filmed right here. Jabari, what have been your most memorable moments?
This is AJ
I don't know, I mean, there's so many to choose from. You know, I love the Foyer set where Will first enters, and at that moment, his life changes forever.
So now when you go back and watch Bel Air and you see the boys in their mansion, you now know they're really here at Universal Studios City, California, inside a soundstage. Spoiler! We got more sound stages for you off to your right, including where Christopher Nolan filmed some scenes from his Oscar-winning film Oppenheimer. But currently in sound stages 18 and 19, that is the home of Jennifer Garner's brand new show that's not even out yet. It's called 5 Star Weekend, and it will be premiering
Disrespectful
over
to the
on
minions.
Peacock, just like the paper. But before you can see a show on your favorite streaming service or watch a movie on an IMAX screen, everything we see on a screen first has to go through a process called pre-production, the preparation phase. And a lot of times that happens where you see my friend Ted the teddy bear off to your left. In our production bungalows. Now these bungalows are homes to companies like Focus Features that brought us the Oscar-winning film Conclave, as well as Mark Platt Productions. Now you might not recognize their name, but you definitely have heard of their work. Mark Platt Productions was the producer on the Oscar-nominated movie musicals La La Land and Wicked. They also will be bringing us Wicked for Good this November, but currently they were one of the producers on the live-action version of How to Train Your Dragon. There's lots of history in this area. In fact, if you look at your screens, you will see this silhouette off to the left on Bungalow 5195. That's because Bungalow 5195 once belonged to the legendary filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock.
My name is Alfred Hitchcock.
We got even more history for you at the end of the road. These sound stages off to your left were the first to be built on our studio's property since the days of Mr. Hitchcock having his offices here on the lot. And this is home to St. Denis Medical, the show I gave you a little sneak peek back on the load line. It's here on your screens. It stars David Allen Greer, Wendy McLovin-Covey, and Allison Tolman. Now, St. Denis Medical takes place in Oregon. However, in just a moment off to the right, you will see the exterior of that medical center here in our metropolitan sense. Get ready, everybody, because now John is going to take us to where movie magic comes to life and where the world is quite literally just around the corner. Now, we're able to bring the world here to our backlot by using that set dressing or decoration process because the camera only sees where we point it. And because of that, we can have an Oregon doctor's office across the street from New York Apartments, which you may recognize from Bruce Almighty, starring Jim Carrey.
It's like that, outside good. It's like that, outside good. Oh, you're done now. Great.
I agree, Bruce. I agree. But I need your help for this next part of the tour, everybody. Go ahead and take a moment and buckle your seatbelts now from left to right and pull on that yellow safety tab and give me a thumbs up when you're good to go because John's kicking this tram up to 88 miles per hour. Because where we're going next, we don't need roads. We're going back to the future. And you can stop looking for seatbelts. There are none on the tram. That was a joke. Sorry. But I was not kidding when I'm telling you we're going back to the future. If you look to your left, you will see the original clock tower that was featured in the Back to the Future movies.
It was actually the back lot of Courthouse Square that inspired the entire climax to Back to the Future.
I had scenes up on the clock tower on that ledge. The ledge felt about wide. And I was standing inside looking at the ledge, and I already had vertigo. I thought there's no way in the world, no way I'm going to stand on that. I was up there for quite a while. Of course, I had a cable.
Sorry to pause it in the most unflattering angle, Christopher Lloyd, but I did mention they filmed clock tower scenes back in Soundstage 12, and that's what you see on your screens right now. Like he was just mentioning, when he was standing on the structure here in our backlot, up high, he was getting a little dizzy. So to make sure he felt comfortable and that we got the shot, they built the roof of the clock tower back in Soundstage 12, a few feet off of the ground, repositioned the camera further down, as you see here on your screens, and pointed it upward to make us believe he was high up in the air. But in reality, he was just back in Soundstage 12. Now this area of our studio is no stranger to time traveling through the Back to the Future franchise or in the Peacock original series, Ted.
Everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, Ted.
But now we're going to do some time traveling ourselves. In less than a New York minute, John's going to take us from the small town feel of Hill Valley and Boston in the 90s, straight through the core of the Big Apple.
Everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighbor. What's got mugged over there? An old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool, guys. I was just, just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
That's right, Jimmy, because you've seen our metropolitan sets in television shows like American Ninja Warrior. In fact, this is where they build the obstacle course where the contestants compete in Los Angeles. But that's movie magic you can see at home on screen. But do you know there's movie magic happening around you as I speak? Yeah, check out this wall here to your left. Now, I know it doesn't seem like much with our naked eye, but if you get your cameras and cell phones out, hold it up and look at the wall through your screen. Through your screen or in your phone, this flat surface will appear to be three-dimensional because it's painted with a technique called trompe-l'oeil, which is my bad French accent describing a term which means to fool the eye. We are fooling the eye of the camera. Since it only has one compared to the human, two, it cannot distinguish that something isn't already in 3D. So, on screen, or in your camera or phone right now here on the tram, that's why when you look at the wall through the lens, it appears to be three-dimensional. Now, if you're like Maisha, I did bring my camera or cell phone. Don't worry, I'll show you what I mean. Check out your screens. Do you recognize that row of apartments in between Ray's Pizza and that white building? Look to your left. It's the trompe-l'oeil. See? On screen, it looks three-dimensional and not just a flat surface we have out here in our backlot. Now that wall serves two purposes. It creates that movie magic, but also, listen, it creates a sound barrier from the theme park. You would have no idea the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is just over this hill. In fact, you can see Hogwarts Castle from the backlot. For the same reason we pad our soundstage walls, that's how we built the trompe-l'oeil. So productions could capture actors' dialogue even when filming exterior scenes in our metropolitan sets. But now we're going to immerse you into the action here on our backlot as John is taking us into Skull Island, featured in Peter Jackson's film, King Kong.
Choppy.
It's the original King Kong that made me watch.
The universal Wi-Fi, guys. Sorry, it's choppy on your end.
I was about age when I
Want to go into King Kong?
I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like things that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up to the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. Hell kind of places. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D.
Hopefully my drink doesn't spill.
You're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart.
Can't see the time.
All right, everybody, as we get ready to go visit King Kong,
side.
we will ask you to please stay seated at all times, keeping a tight hold of all of your personal belongings. The terrain does get bumpy and shaky where we're going, and if anything drops while we're in the building, I am not allowed to get out and go get it, even if you pull the emergency cord. So do be sure to keep a close eye on any loose belongings you have. You're more than welcome to take any pictures or video. Just be aware your recording device might get wet, and please do not use any flash photography or video lighting equipment so everybody's trip to Skull Island here on the tram could be enjoyable. But go ahead and put on your 3D glasses now, everybody. Put on your 3D glasses and welcome to Skull Island.
Really tough. Hold on. Decent. Doesn't look bad. Uh-oh. Can't stab my eye. Oh god. There's no water on the right side. The heck?
Skull Island. Great job. You can take off your 3D glasses for now. Do hang on to them. Once we get back to the theme park and you disembark the tram, we have receptacles you can place them in. But in the meantime, check out your screens. You will get a behind-the-scenes look into this epic battle that was made for the tour by the Oscar-winning duo Peter Jackson and the filmmakers at a company called Weta FX. The folks at Weta FX designed Thanos for Disney and Marvel's The Avengers franchise. They also worked on the computer-generated imagery, or CGI, for the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies, Avatar, Avatar 2, The Way of Water, and recently they designed the singing and dancing monkey for Robbie Williams' biopic Better Man. But now they're going to tell you what it took to bring this epic battle to life for the studio tour.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on movies, we always know that people are looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because one giant shot, this tram that's driving it along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, because it's a hell of a ride.
The next time you take the studio tour, pay close attention to when this T-Rex pulls a section of your tram onto the screen. The people in the tram vehicle are the folks over at Weta FX and Peter Jackson's kids. They made themselves into a little Easter egg here on the back lot. We actually have Easter eggs and monsters all over our studio. Like off to your right, you're gonna see a monster mural, no need to fear. Now this mural you see was designed by renowned street artist Tristan Eaton, and everything you see was painted only using spray paint.
An instrumental part of the process of designing these murals was getting to go to the Universal Archive. Going there, I got to see in person props from the movies, photos from behind the scenes, original illustrations from those movie posters, all this stuff. I had an early affection for movie monsters. I was always fascinated by the magic behind making movies. But I fell in love with zombie movies and monster movies as a young kid. My world that I come from is skateboarding, graffiti, and comic books. You always have to pay homage to where that art form started. And for me, it started painting stuff in the street illegally, tagging billboards and dumpsters. Without that, I never would be here using spray paint like this.
Mr. Eaton has worked up in the Museum of Modern Art and was even commissioned by the Obamas to do some portraits. So we're very grateful he paid homage to our monsters here on the Universal backlot. Now, folks, we are grateful that you're joining us here today, but I'm from California and it's a little hot for me. So I asked John to take us to my favorite spot to have a little holiday here on the backlot, because nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday to Amity Island, everybody. We're gonna head over to the town that was featured in Steven Spielberg's film Jaws for a little R&R, relaxation, a little dip into the cool water. But do not worry, all right? They caught the shark that was terrorizing the place. We'll have nothing to fear. And on top of that, we get to meet the man behind that epic catch. His name is Police Captain George, and he agreed to have a little meet and greet with us here on the tram before we have our little holiday in Amity Island. But it's a very exciting time for us here at the studio, as Jaws, the film where Amity takes place, is celebrating its 50th anniversary of being released into theaters. So you can imagine how busy George has been getting the harbor ready for all of our oh my goodness, everybody, look off to the right. You're gonna see that he caught the shark that was terrorizing the place. I told you, Captain George is the man with the plan. Hey George, it's John and Maisha. We made it. I know we're a little early, but would you mind coming up from the water and telling us how you caught that shark all by yourself? Okay, it looks like there's another one out there, everybody. So we're just gonna hold here until it swims away. Oh, George, I know you see the shark over there, but is it okay if we can watch you catch the shark from here on the tram? Yeah? Thank you. Wow. I gotta admit, he has a lot of guts to be out there in that water. Okay, looks like those guts are in the water. So when you're at threat level midnight, my friend in car 2, I need you to take a seat for me. There's a wild shark out there, but don't worry, that yellow barrel has shark bait attached to it. Once the shark takes the bait, John can radio for backup and we are good to go. Unless the shark takes part of the pier we are parked on, with positive thinking, it cannot get any worse than it already is. Unless there's explosions and fire.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, where is the shark? Does anyone have eyes on the shark? Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is again. Alright, I know you're thinking, John, Aisha, that shark is fake. I know it's not real. Okay, yes, you got us. The shark is fake. But the fear was very real, and you cannot deny it, because I saw all of you do a version. Oh, John, get it! Okay, I saw you, Joe. I saw you. It's my favorite part of the tour. Now, the shark jumping up and scaring you is what we call a practical special effect. That is anything that can happen in front of the camera on the day of filming to have the audience lean further over the edge of our seats and go off on a wild ride. But sometimes, filmmakers could add something simple to have us go on a ride, like weather effects, like in this scene from the Lost World Jurassic Park. On top of the T-Rex attack, we added in the thunderstorm, so as you were watching this scene, you lean over the edge of your seat and start thinking to yourself, oh no, the T-Rex is right behind them, but the rain's coming down so hard. Better be buddy, they're never gonna make it. All those thoughts and concerns start running through your brain, all because you see weather on screen. And we're gonna show you how we create weather on screen, live and in person off to your left. Where Jerry from our special effects department is going to rig a thunderstorm for us live and in person. Jared is looking good, but maybe get an action on the rain to the left of the tram if possible, please. Ooh, beautiful, thank you. All right, folks, so this rain is being caused by advanced technology we are so lucky to have at our studio. We call this technology a sprinkler system. Yeah, it's just like what you have at home. But what we do is going to sprinkle this up that way. Gravity does the work for us, brings the water down to the earth naturally. Excuse me, everybody. Hey, Jerry, looks like you might have to do an override. Apologies cutting it short, everybody, just for safety. If the rain keeps going like this, it could start a flash flood. Oh, looks like I'm too late. Watch out, everyone. Okay, confession time. I knew that was going to happen. We planned that. Why do you think I warned you about those blue seats? All because Jerry wanted to show up and show you our large-scale weather effect, our flash flood, which you may recognize from Big Fat Liar, starring Paul Giamatti, Frankie Muniz, and Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes?
Our exit from Old Mexico is going to be a lot smoother and drier, but it is leading us to the halfway point of our tour together. So just a quick reminder of our safety rules. Once again, everybody, please remain fully seated at all times, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle and a tight hold while you're here on the tram. The studio is private property, so at any point during the tour, if you drop your phone or just cannot wait to use the restroom, reach up and pull that red emergency cord. But being in the middle of our tour, John is now driving us in our western sets, where my co-host, Jimmy Fallon, likes to prove he's the wildest in the West.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal line.
I hear this where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while we're getting good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on it, Fallon. Then get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
And we're gonna mosey our way out of here too, but as we do, I just have to point out how the horse's outfit matches Jimmy Fallon's outfit. It's all about the details here in Hollywood. Now, stars like Jimmy Fallon mosey our western sets all the time, but this is the area of our studio where the tour got its start. Our western sets are where our founder, Carl Laemmle, would invite audiences in 110 years ago to watch us film our silent westerns. Then when filming was done or wrapped for the day, on the way out, guests had the opportunity to pick up a dozen of eggs to take home, or a chicken sandwich if they were hungry. Because, if you can believe it, the theme park you've been enjoying today, and the movie studio John has been driving us through, started off as a chicken ranch before anything else. I told you, we've come a very long way. But now it's time to take you to the part of the studio that I think is a pretty good place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool. I'm talking about The Good Place from the television show The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. You're in for a treat because our little Europe sets are still dressed or decorated from the show. But if you've never seen the show, do not worry, I will break it down for you. It is one of my favorites, actually. The Good Place stars Kristen Bell as Eleanor. In the first episode, she passes away, spoiler, and gains access here to the Good Place, where good people go when they die. Now, even if you've never seen the show, just by looking around and taking in the set dressing or decoration, you get a sense of that exact premise I just described to you. Because all the buildings are brightly and colorfully painted. Everything is very warm and welcoming. The Good Place had a frozen yogurt shop and a chocolate shop. The grass is green. The flowers are in full bloom. You can look around and start thinking to yourself, actually yes, this is a good place to spend my after days. Set dressing or decoration is just nonverbal clues productions can use to give us, the audience, a sense of where the characters are. In this case, that it's a good place to spend your after days. Or in Disney's Princess Diaries 2, The Royal Engagement, starring Anne Hathaway and Dame Julie Andrews, they decorated or dressed Little Europe as the fictional European country of Genovia. If you're familiar with the movie, this is where they filmed the Princess Parade. But since we know more about set dressing, and we have some time here in Little Europe, let's play pretend, everyone. Let's dress or decorate these sets differently. Let's paint them darker, more mysterious and ominous in color. Let's break the windows and add some cobwebs, light some torches, maybe even have some angry villagers start running around. And we'll have the perfect setting for a classic monster movie, which makes sense because Little Europe is where the monster movie and horror genre was created. Universal created those genre of film, making movies like Frankenstein starring Boris Karloff, Dracula starring Bela Lugosi. Essentially, if you can think of a monster, they had their debut here at our studio. And that genre of film saved Universal during the Great Depression. It's one of the reasons why we're still open today, making movies like Jurassic World Rebirth, or giving you the studio tour. It's why I have a job. All because audiences would run to go see our monster movies as a form of escapism. But we're gonna continue your Hollywood experience. I told you John is the best driver in town, and right now he gets to play tour guide, everybody. He knows the crew utilizing this soundstage for overnight shoots, and he called ahead to get us special behind the scenes access. Thank you, John. That being said, we will ask you all to stay seated and hang on tight to all of your belongings. That way the production does not have to clean up after the tour once they do roll camera. But welcome into Soundstage 50, everybody. If you look to either side of the vehicle, you will see those staircases. That leads up to a fully functioning city set, which gives productions flexibility to do a continuous take or a one shot with their camera. All that means is they can be upstairs and yell, action, with their actors. Everybody. All right, looks like we're experiencing an earthquake. That happens all the time, but we do have to ride it out, so hang on tight.
You really got wet on this right side. Look. Oh my god.
The first one to place our backlot is actually our jazz section we experienced through the episode. That was designed in part by the film's director, Jimmy Fallon.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office of Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram.
I really want to go on Jurassic World, but...
And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
That's very true. What Mr. Spielberg is referring to is the very first day of filming, one of those sharks from the movie Jaws sank right down to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and it got stuck on the ocean floor for 2 whole weeks after that. But that did not stop Jaws from becoming Hollywood's first summer blockbuster. It's actually the reason why you see films like Jurassic World Rebirth in theaters during the summer months, all because of the mechanical shark that they use from Jaws. Now, our version of Amity does kick off our residential area here at the studio, including our very own residential neighborhood, Colonial Street, which you may recognize as Wisteria Lane from ABC's hit show Desperate Housewives. And back here to your left, that yellow home was Gabrielle Solis's house, played by Eva Longoria. But lots of famous neighbors lived here. This purple home was 1313 Mockingbird Lane from the Munsters. Right next door, this yellow house belonged to Davy and Never Have I Ever, which streams on Netflix, created by Mindy Kaling. If you look over to your right, this brown house you see was used in Amazon Prime's holiday movie, Candy Cane Lane, starring Eddie Murphy and Tracy Ellis Ross. But if you're a Beyonce fan like myself, you might recognize that brown house from her Verizon Super Bowl commercial. That is where she built her lemonade stand. Now, even though the Queen, Beyonce, graced us with her presence on this street, I can't imagine what you're thinking. John, Maisha, this is a street full of houses. We can find this on location or off of the studio property. Why would Productions choose to film here and not there? That's a great question. Candy Cane Lane, starring Eddie Murphy and Tracy Ellis Ross, is a great example of that. Because of the editing process, putting all the scenes together, they have to film holiday movies during the summer months. Imagine driving around your neighborhood in the middle of July, as warm as it is right now, and you see a house ready for the holidays, complete with snow. You'll take pictures and post that online, right? Well, filming here at the studio in a residential area, we can make sure spoilers don't get out for Candy Cane Lane or Beyonce's Super Bowl commercial. Because she was here, and we didn't even know she was here because they had a code name. Making sure that code name is kept under wraps on location is a lot harder. But since we saw these sets dressed or decorated in person, let's see them dressed as Wisteria Lane from ABC's show Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
As we are moving on up and away from our residential area, we are running into the 15-minute mark until we're back at the theme park. So a reminder to stay seated activated at all times, and if you have an emergency, reach up and pull that ready emergency cord. But get your cameras out, folks, because you get to see our fleet of picture cars that we have here at the studio. Now, a picture car is any vehicle you end up seeing on screen, like the bad boys we have parked out here to your left, including the gyrosphere that was featured in Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. You'll see a whole fleet of vehicles from the Fast and the Furious franchise. Try saying that 10 times fast, it's very hard. And then at the very, very end of the line here, you will see my favorite picture car we have in our property. I'm talking about Bumblebee from Michael Bay's film Transformers. Now off to the right of our picture cars, you can see even more construction happening here on the back lot. But this is for our Halloween Horror Nights event, where we turn our entire theme park and this section of our movie studio into one large haunted house. If you do join us, this is our Terror Tram attraction. We're able to enter the Blumhouse and live all of the Blumhouse films walking through the sets of Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho. This is the Bates Motel, and up on the hill there is the Psycho house. If you do join us for Halloween, if you're brave enough and you stop at the Psycho house, you get to meet and greet Norman Bates. But today, you only have to worry about his mother. She's in the second story window. Give her a wave, take her photo. I hear she is just dying to meet you.
This tour guide is for
And we continue forward. We get to walk through or drive through yet another set. Uh-oh. Hi, Norman. So sorry we didn't call and let you know we were here first. You want to sign some autographs for my friends here on the tram? You got a pen on you? Or like a Sharpie? That's neither. That is neither. You know what? Just in case if you do join us for Halloween, bring your own pen. You know, maybe he'll be a little less testy. But like I was saying, we get to drive or walk through this set, featured in Steven Spielberg's production of War of the Worlds. And everything around you now is real, including that plane off to your left. That is a real 747 that was purchased at a retired plane graveyard, cut up into the pieces you see, and then driven to our studio for this scene in the movie.
The airplane, as the site set, is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around envisioning speed.
You think to sit down and talk about war? Well, I thought, what if the 747 goes on right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something that goes.
You're doing good. Thank you, impressing me. Listen, now, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Down close. Bobby, get in. Get in.
Now this entire set is also considered to be a practical special effect. Anything that can happen in front of the camera on the day of filming to have the audience go off on a wild ride. Now some filmmakers like Jordan Peele will use sound effects to take you on a wild ride, like he did in his latest movie, Nope. And you're going to hear what I mean as John is going to drive us through the actual sets of Jupiter's Claim that were used in the movie. It is over an active UFO hotspot, so good luck and welcome to the world of Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking room and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of cold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of No.
out of here before
my
things start to
goodness.
get Wendell and wild. Now, if you've yet to see
Let's
Nope,
feel.
I highly recommend it.
so this
Especially
is the close,
hearing all the sound effects
Fast
and
and
characters
Furious.
here in the movie, you can truly see how sound can just take you on that wild ride. But do not take my word for it. Let's check in with one of Nope's
Rumor has it
stars,
this is gonna be
Kiki
part of the
Palmer.
expansion in the
What's
future.
up, Studio Tour? I'm
Just haven't
Kiki
started on
Palmer
it. I
from
think they're
Jordan
just
Peele's
focused
film
on
Nope.
finishing up.
What's a
Fast
bad
and
miracle?
Furious.
Well, you'll have to see our
roller
movie to
coaster.
answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's claim.
Did you see a UFO in that cloud?
Look how much space this
I ain't
solar
never
takes.
seen
Watch from
nothing
here.
like this.
All the way.
Are you ready?
All the way down there.
Holy hell.
Very big space.
Hell no.
All the way.
I love
past
watching
these
Nope, but I also love listening to Jordan Peele talk about the visuals of the film, and he equates it to being Jaws, but in the sky. So it's safe to assume if we didn't have Jaws 50 years ago, we would not have Nope today. So here at Universal, we are very grateful that within that time, we have a long working relationship with Steven Spielberg, and he has since considered our studio his home.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was
All
my
the way
first
over
time
here.
ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break,
Things are still
I
on.
hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the
Crazy,
bus,
look.
I waited another 15 minutes
All the way
until I'm
back
sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because
So much
all movies
space.
were made on film lots. They're made all over the world on locations, but most of it was focused in those days in the 60s
So much
on the
space for
film lots.
activities.
So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
And we hope you have the most amazing day here on the Universal Studio Store as we are heading back to the theme park. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the world famous Backlot Adventure. And to all of our annual pass holders, welcome back. If you'd like to upgrade your ticket today to an annual pass, visit the Universal box office so you can plan to visit us again and again. And when you're here in the theme park, be sure to download the official Universal Studios Hollywood app. It gives you minute-to-minute park information wherever you are, like wait times for all of our rides and attractions, the next available show time for Waterworld, Alive SeaWorld Spectacular, and you can even order at some of our restaurants directly on the app. Now we are just waiting for John to get the all clear to take us back to the tram unboarding area, but that gives Jimmy Fallon time to say goodbye. Jimmy.
Well, I can't believe it. We've made it to the end of our tour, you guys. How about
Your driver, John. And your tour guide, Maisha.
weren't they the best?
And pretty.
Hey, before we go, I'd like to sing you a little song I made up. I was just 5 years old. It's called Tramtastic. We had a real good time together, but now the ride is done. We saw some crazy cool stuff, and we had a lot of fun. This tram has made its final stop, but don't be sad and blue, 'cause there's still one more thing that I'd like to say to you. Have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright. Come on, have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Just watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright. Just the dads now, and everything will be alright. Just the moms, and everything will be alright. Just Jaws.
Oh, I've never seen the end of this.
Okay, have a tramtastic day. Have a tramtastic night. Just watch your step as you exit the tram, and everything will be alright. Yeah, thank you for coming to the Universal Tour, everybody. Get home safe. Tramtastic day. Have a
That song is going to be stuck in your head for the rest of your life. Sorry, not sorry.
I've been on that tour so many times since I was a kid, and I just love it every time.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tour, and so then to be in the movies and seeing the trams drive by, it's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things, actually, about shooting for Universal is sometimes you get to shoot on the lot, and then you look over, and it's like, there's Jaws, there's the flash flood, and all those trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, tram drivers were kind of a little reckless, a little crazy. There was no restriction on cars going anywhere. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Thank you all for your patience. We got the all clear to head back to the tram onboarding area. And if you want to watch films like Back to the Future or any of the Universal titles you heard me talk about today, you can pick up physical copies at any of our retail shops here on property or visit our website, uphe.com. But before we go, let's make some noise and say thank you to our driver, John, everybody! Thank you, John, and thank all of you for joining us once again. Please be sure to hydrate while you're here at the theme park. For every butterbeer, please drink a bottle of water. I've been your tour guide, Maisha, but as we say in the movies, that's a wrap. Bye, everybody!
Alright, that's it. Thanks, guys.